What up? So wait,
And
then I gotta make it go away. Wait, hold on. I
that,
thought it went away. I thought it went away on its own.
ta-da!
Hey y'all, we still over here down by the riverside, and we getting used to
Amen.
where the things are and figuring it out. So what's up? We got the things.
We got the things. We in here.
Oh my
We are
goodness.
in here.
We are here. It is time for another episode of So You Don't Put Syrup on Your Grilled Cheese. And we have been getting this question every time that we write it. People are like, syrup,
Syrup?
really? Let us reiterate, okay? Because I am sure that there are many new people who are coming to hang out with us and they don't understand.
Right.
Yes, we put
On
syrup
it.
on our grilled cheese. So if you go back to our very first episode, we talk about that and we give like the context for why we did that, how we did that or whatever. But the short answer is yes. And
Yeah.
also it's good. And
Delicious.
also don't knock it till you try it. Okay.
That part.
So welcome to So You Don't Put Syrup on Your Grilled Cheese. We are two real life cousins, and we're here to talk about the stuff that we thought was normal, like putting syrup on our grilled cheese. And it was actually a family recipe, and a lot of the other things were recipes of dysfunction. And we're trying to figure that out and unpack it and share our stories and help other people find their voices as we are here. So we're bringing y'all along for the journey. And hopefully, while you're here, you'll get a little bit of laughing and a whole lot of healing, or vice versa. Either way, we dishing out some healing and some laughs. All right.
There it
So
is.
if that's what
Two
you in the market
things.
for, you in the right place. All right. So my name is Kimberland Tylin, House of O'Neill, Jackson, and Adams, empathetic energizer, intuitive, inspirational innovator, seer of souls who are hurting, healer of hearts, and voice to the voiceless. What up?
Amen.
What up, y'all? Oh, that's when I said, damn it, I don't have the things of
I mean,
Jesus.
I'm just saying, I
I
feel
need
like
we need a
this is,
producer, damn it. I'm trying
I'm
to
gonna
do
just do mine.
go ahead, do your air horn. I know you want to do it. Go ahead.
That's what the people want. Nobody
You
said
right.
that. No one said
Excuse
that,
me.
but that's what I'm gonna say. But no one's told me that. But I feel it, you know. Anywho's, I am Kalonda of House Jackson, first of her name, assistant of entrepreneurs, beacon of banter, creator of content, believe it or not, dancer of dreams, excellence, enchantress, and NOLA native. Don't forget that part. Very important. Um, so when you get to come to us, Kim did tell you, it's all about the laughs, the healing, the fun. Exactly. That we get to spend this time together. So there's a couple of things that we want to make sure in this space and in this community that we're building that you guys can expect from us and what we expect from you. So first and foremost, what do you expect from us? To be ourselves, to be transparent, to be upfront. We curse a lot, not a lot, but we do curse. We season the
We
sentences,
be
with a
cussing.
little flavor. It could happen. So if there's anyone with sensitivities, feel free pop in some earbuds or whatever you need to do, but just be aware. We're experts in certain things, but we're not experts in everything. And we're going to be very transparent about what we're not experts in. But we're also, bonus for you, going to point you in the right direction. We're going to be that resource gap to let you know, hey, we may not have this answer, but this is where you want to go to get it, right? Being transparent, we've been on this planet for a few decades, so there's a lot of experience that has come along with that, in addition to a lot of formal education and street education. So you get a little bit of
Come
background.
on, street education. Cause
It's
we
a
from
balance.
the block, you feel
It's a
me?
balance, okay? Get you somebody that could do both. Nah, it's important. Lesson number one, you're welcome. You got that within 5 minutes. Why are you getting that from anywhere else, right? So that leads us to what we expect from y'all, because you get gems like that throughout this whole show. So you want to be able to like, subscribe, share so that you can always be in that number. But the biggest thing is even sharing so other people can do that. So if you've laughed, smiled, even rolled your eyes at least one time, then that's at least one share. In addition, you want to watch. Watch hours are super important. Kim's going to go over all that fun stuff. But just come see us. We're a good time. We're a hoot. We want you to be engaged with us. Talk in the chat. We'll be responding to you. Talk to each other. It's fun in there.
Yes. Okay. So we do have some updates. One of the things, additional, this be like our announcements. Like we already
Yes, the
know we
church
gotta
announcement.
get into the things. Okay. But one of the things that is starting to show up more and more, we want you all to be very, very intentional about this, is using our emojis. So we each have our own emojis that represent us, and it's a way to give us like super love and like, girl, I see you, and like I know you from one of those, right? So my emojis are the sunflower and the crayon. So the sunflower yellow is my favorite color. Sunflowers represent things like joy and looking towards God, and also represent invisible disabilities. So that is something I am becoming more and more of an advocate about. So yeah. And the crayon, because there was a time that my life was very black and white. Everything was black and white. And I made a conscious choice to color the fuck out of my life. So the crayon is my emoji. And yeah, so tell me about yours.
Well, I have a ladybug. They are beautiful. They are my little universe messengers. The universe sends them to me, especially when I was making that journey to come to Colombia from the States. And I would see them everywhere. They are messengers rather, and carry messages. Why can't I talk today? Of luck and prosperity, and letting you know that you're on the right path. As a matter of fact, I saw a ladybug last night in my room on the wall. I was like, is that a ladybug? I got out of the bed and I'm
Wow.
like, that is a ladybug. Then it like flew
Okay.
on the ceiling. So I just laid on the bed and watched it on the ceiling for a little while. Yeah. So I'm like, thank you. Cause I am like planning my next steps and all the things right now. So it's like perfect timing. Thank you, Jesus. I'll see you. My other emoji is the blue heart. Cobalt blue is my favorite color. Love it. Feels like home, rich, warm, like a nice hug. I just really committed to loving out loud and being loved out loud in this new life that is on the other side of burnout and mental breaks and all the goodness. And it makes me happy and I love to see it.
Yay. So,
Yeah.
y'all, we are at 1,175 subscribers as of April 12th. So the numbers kind of are lagged a little bit.
It went up.
So, oh, damn. Hit them with an air horn, Kalonda. The people asked for it. So now we are in the process of trying to get our page monetized, right? And
Yeah.
the way that we do that is through watch hours. So what we are asking is for everybody to commit to a certain number of watch hours that you are willing to take on every week. So we recommend two be the
Two.
minimum, right? So 2 hours. So that's one show and maybe a vlog, or like, we've got a lot of content. It's a lot of stuff for y'all to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, but also this is important to let y'all know, the watch hours is a moving target. So this
Yeah.
is some intel, like for anybody who is looking to monetize a YouTube page. Like, we started from the bottom, now we here. Okay. So just trying to give you some insight. So anyway, the watch hours is a moving target. So it's within the last 365 days. And we have been doing this for more than 365 days. So we have to gain new people and new watch hours and new commitments, right? Because every day is
Might
falling
be
off,
dropped off.
right? Every day.
Oh
So
shoot. Oh
it's
man.
interesting.
That was a
So
popular video.
right. I needed that one. Gosh. Right. So it is definitely very interesting and a moving target. But anyway, we need 1,575 watch hours. We would like to be monetized by the end of May. So we are asking you all to commit to a certain number of hours. If you'll go ahead and put it into the chat for us, you being here right now is counting. So you could go ahead and count this, check that off. Okay. But yeah, so give us a commitment of how you're willing to help us. It's absolutely free. And let me also say, even if you're not watching, even if it's just playing, that counts too. All right.
Okay.
So if you just put it on and walked out the room and went and did what you had to do, no problem. But also,
For the
if you
support.
actually pay attention, we be dropping some gems and it be some stuff. All right. So anyway, so that's that. And then also, what was I about to say? What was I about to say? What was I about to say? I just totally had a brain fart. Oh, we talked about sharing our content, asking auntie submissions. So we are trying to collect these and maybe like just do a show of asking auntie
Yeah.
submissions. So if you go to tinyurl.com/ask an auntie, then you will be able to submit. And let me actually write that here because I don't have that banner up yet. Tinyurl.com slash ask an auntie, save and show. All right. So that is how you can submit Ask an Auntie submission. And these are dilemmas, questions, stuff that y'all want to talk about, stuff y'all want to hear our take about, what have you. You can be anonymous if you would like to. So get those submissions into us. And then finally, if you are wanting to be a guest on the show, we do allow that. So if you will email us at mindedbyblackassbusiness@gmail.com, and with the subject line, let me on there. And that is how you can apply to be on the show. And also, you do have to taste syrup on your grilled cheese and give an honest review. That is mandatory. So just be prepared for that. All right. All right. I think that's it. That's all. That's all
Look
the
out.
announcements.
Church
Yeah.
announcement.
I know, right? I'm proud of us. Okay. So as they would say in the church house, govern yourselves accordingly to all of the announcements that have been given. All right. So I wanted to get into our transparency moment and as far as like how we're feeling, but also our yes indeed updates. And I wanted to kind of contextualize where yes indeed comes from. Also, this is not shade. Okay. I be having
Ooh, I
to,
feel it brewing up.
oh
Oh,
Lord.
good.
So I want to make sure that it is being used in the appropriate context, right? Because there is a certain context that, yes, indeed, came to us. So I was wondering, as the cousin who has been here longer on the planet, if you would like to start with where the whole yes, indeed thing comes from with us.
Like with us from being from New Orleans, like
Maybe. I don't
yesterday.
know. Wherever you want to start. You start, and I'm going to fill in some gaps if there
Okay.
are any.
I was like, all right. So
I know I
yes,
didn't prep
indeed
you for
is
this. My bad.
at all. That's okay though. That's fine. Just we'll see what happens. We'll both be surprised. All right. So
So this would be a perfect example of when someone would say, "Yes, indeed."
yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. So
Okay.
you
Like,
just gonna put me on. All right. Well, let's see
like, all
what's
right, I
happening.
got you. Let's see
Okay.
what happens. So
Okay.
yeah, definitely. Yes, indeed is a statement that encompasses a lot of things. It could be surprise, like somebody will be like, "Oh, you're at work," and then you look up and your best friend is standing there with lunch, and you're like, "Yes, indeed." Like,
Yes,
thank
indeed.
you, girl. I sure was hungry.
Okay,
Whatever.
right
Uh,
on time.
and won't he do it? So it could be um if somebody gives you some bad news and it's just like, oh girl, we're not the group trip. The group trip is not making it out of the group chat. Be like, oh,
Mm.
yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed, girl.
Girl,
Wow.
really? So she didn't get that stuff on Klarna. So just you can just break your stuff down in payments if you can, I guess. They about to put groceries on Klarna while y'all playing. But anyway.
Man,
But
I'm not gonna go down that rabbit
she's
hole
like,
right
I'm not
now.
gonna do it.
Because it's for
But
later. That's my literal rabbit
she's like,
hole.
it's coming, it's coming. So yes, indeed can encompass a lot of things. It's just an exclamation, a feeling of just like, yes, indeed. It could be agreement, it could be disagreement, it could be calling you out. If somebody being shady, be like, yes, indeed. Like, I see you. So it means a lot of things. But you hear it, we get it from New Orleans. I won't say we own it, but that's definitely where it came to me from. So
Yeah.
that was mine. What
And I
holes would
think
you like to
also
fill?
Nanny used to say yes indeed all
Mhm.
the time too,
Our
right? So
grandmother.
that's how I feel like I learned the nuances of the yes indeed, because Nanny used to be like, oh,
Yes,
yes
indeed.
indeed.
Yes. Aw.
So we wanted to, and Nanny is was our grandmother. So
Yeah.
but anyway, so I wanted to just give some background about yes indeed, because as we are doing these updates, a lot of times there's a lot of yes indeeds that be going down. So having said that, how your spirit feeling today? What's going on with your cousin? I'm gonna eat my banana because somebody been in my
Yes,
inbox
indeed.
steady saying, make sure you eat at least a fruit. I'm eating a fruit.
Yes, indeed. That was a perfect yes, indeed moment. The whole banana. Wow. All right. Um, so my spirit is in shambles. I don't know. I have red lipstick on today. And in shambles, I was about to say it might be dramatic, but it's not dramatic. But it's not like life or death. Y'all, my brain has been doing the things. Um, Planning, like trying to figure out the move logistics and timing and all these things. And it's like just trying to make it work. The United States health system is a piece of shit. That's just, it is a fact. Which is so interesting. We could talk about it later. But anyway, so that is taking its toll. I'm working with different people. So that's exciting. Like there's definitely things that I'm super excited about and like happy to be able to even say in these meetings, like, oh, okay, and if something comes up, I want to be able to talk to you about other people in my network that could be able to assist you with that. Like being able to say that and know that there are lanes and avenues for both parties to benefit, so that's super exciting. Just really wanting to find that like stability, grounding, and finding out what the next moves look like. Trying to figure out if I'm gonna be able to maybe go home. That kind of came out of nowhere for a little bit. I know. So
Yes, indeed.
Right? Surprise. See? Okay. So it's just a lot of stuff. My brain people are in a frenzy, and I don't know necessarily that they have a direction that they're going in. So it's like constant trying to like corral them and be like, okay, but focus. These are the words because the words are going away, and then these are the tasks of what you are supposed to be doing right now. Yeah, so we'll go through it because I'm just a lot. It's just a lot. It's life.
Understood.
How is your spirit feeling?
I hear an echo.
Do you now?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Well, we gonna see what that means.
Talk.
Talkie. Can you
Not
hear
it's
me?
not when you
Emma.
do it, it's when I'm talking.
Oh, my bad.
It's like your volume is on. Like externally.
It is. That would be why.
Man.
Dude, hey.
I still hear it.
Let's see.
This is another yes indeed moment.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
wait.
is.
I don't hear it now.
Okay,
Okay, great.
better.
All right, cool.
All right.
So I wouldn't say my spirit is in shambles. However, I would say my spirit is very much trying to keep his shit together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because same, it's a lot of moving parts and moving pieces, and this asylum process is wild.
I
Not
imagine.
just the process of it, but like the actual having to sit for hours on end. Like I kind of likened it to like if which this is I've never had to do this, but like if I had to go to court and
Mm,
testify. And
mm,
it's interesting because I chose not to go to court and testify because I felt like it was going to be a waste of energy. So I kind of
mm,
just stopped like the legal process of pursuing justice. And I
mm.
was just like, you know what? I got platforms. I'll just talk about y'all all over the internet. That's fine.
How about
I'll
that?
just do that. Mhm. Um, and it's interesting because now it's like I am testifying for hours. So
Mm,
that's been interesting. So I think I am trying to get stabilized. And there are moments where I'm able to like kind of shake myself out of it and be like, okay, all right, okay, we focus today. We finna do this, right?
yes,
And
it
then
is.
other days, my brain is like, hey, we're in the hammocks. I don't know what you talking about. That's cute. And also, No.
I put in my prepare the others notice. It was not a request.
Correct. Correct.
It was
And you
not a
approved
request.
it. Well,
Right.
somebody approved it. You might have been
Somebody
approved it,
said,
but somebody approved,
yeah.
man, we're off today. Okay.
Right.
So it's enough. Like cut it out. So I've kind of been balancing that. So that's
Got it.
yeah, that's my overview. So
I feel
yes,
that.
indeed. Tell us the things.
Yes.
What's going on?
So the things, let's see. So well, pick up from last time. So we were getting excited for the giddy up process where I was gonna go horseback riding, do the things, and like be outside and put my boots on the ground and find out where the fans was at and all the stuff, right? So I was excited. And we've talked about this before, like the difference in how we approach calendars and timing things and whatever, and that you like a nice, give me a 72-hour lead. I can prepare, think about it. I'm ready. Let's do it. And I'm like, it's much better to ask me the day before, because if you give me 72 hours, I will find a reason to not go. So I think part of that was happening, but I was still like, you know what? No, I'm going. So at first I was like, I'm a girl. So I like to pick out, okay, what am I going to wear to go horseback riding, right? So, because it was supposed to be horseback riding, and then we were going to go to like dinner or something, and then they were going to bring us back home. So
Because
I'm
I
like, all
definitely
right.
was wondering when you had said, because I basically have a uniform, so I be wearing the same thing every day. So I was like, this girl got horseback riding clothes. Okay, sis, do
Well,
you
I
then?
do. I didn't listen when you gave me all the packing advice. That's why I got all these flip flops. But anyway, so I definitely have like, but to go to dinner and things after horseback riding is an interesting transition when you're not living out of three suitcases. So I already was like, okay, what am I gonna wear? And at first I was like, I'm gonna just be comfortable, and because I was thinking horseback riding. So I'm gonna just, throw on my cat suit and a crop top and be like, oh, I'm cute, ride out. Well, then I got the itinerary that said, okay, we're gonna start at 1:30, to pick everybody up, get to the place at 2:30. So I'm like, okay, this place is an hour away. All right, fine. And then we're gonna ride for 4 hours. So I'm like, okay, cool. I was still good. I'm like, I knew the horseback ride was 4 hours. That part I knew up front.
But you didn't know that it was an hour transportation
I did not realize
to
the hour
get. Okay,
transportation. I
okay,
figured there was gonna be time, but I wasn't necessarily thinking it was an hour to get there.
okay.
So then it was, okay, we're going to have dinner after the ride and go dancing after dinner. And then we should be back for the transportation at 10 o'clock. So I
No.
was like, oh, this all day.
Mm-mm. I want to go home. No, and
And
I'm still an
so,
hour away after all of that, and still see that be the thing. Because when I had went to Guadalupe, Bianca on here, girl, I was ranting so hard because that was like I don't even. It was like 3 or 4 hour ride. So in my mind, I was like, okay, this gonna be the 5 o'clock. That's why I had prep. You gave me 72 hours notice. I got it. I'm prepped. At 5 o'clock, I'm ready to go home. What you mean? We still got to
three
ride the bus
hours.
to get back. I don't like it.
And then I still got to get in the Uber to get home. So I was like, no, like, okay. Because I had gone through my closet. So at first, okay, I get this, you're going to be with people for 10 hours in a place where you can't leave on your own when
That
you're
you
ready to
don't
go.
know.
And I like to Irish goodbye. I'm a fan of it. I mean, like, oh, do. And I was out. I was there. I was in a couple pictures. They saw me, kind of thing. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna find my outfit. I'm gonna do, because now I'm like, oh, this is an event. So now it's not just a cute cat suit and a crop top. Like they about to really have their boots on the ground. Like these girls about to show out. If we doing dinner, dancing, like this is a full day thing, right? So I'm looking in my closet. I find something that I'm like, okay, cool. Because I'm like, I'm not, but I don't even know where you get a fan here. Like, and it was too late at that point to order it on Amazon to
Nah,
get it
you was
in
gonna be
time.
like this.
Bye,
That's
bye,
all you was
bye.
gonna have to give. Yeah.
Use your imagination, please, and thank you. Like what's happening, right? But I mean, I like a theme. I'm my daughter. I'm my daughter's. I'm my mother's child, and she loves the theme, right? We will participate. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to do that, but that's fine. Then the longer it sat with me, the closer it got, and I was just like, I don't want to be trapped. Like, I feel like I'm being
That's
held
all I'm thinking
hostage.
about. I want to go
And
home.
already, like, I'm not even there yet, and I want
No,
to leave.
I'm
And I'm like,
done. I
and I don't want to
allocated 4 hours for a horseback ride. Why are we at 12? Take
play.
me home
I was
now.
like, we'll get back to the drop off spot at 10 o'clock. I'm like, wait, what? So I wind up sending a message. I was like, I hate to be this person. I'm sorry. I am not coming. Like, I'm not coming. And I was like, and I understand if it's too late for me to not get a refund. I can't do it. Like, I literally, I can't do it. I can't do it. So they said, no, that was fine. Um, so then so the day after the ride would have happened. So that Sunday, I'm checking in because I was like, oh, I want to see the pictures and whatever. And of course, I mean, denim, denim on denim, tied up shirts, the boots, the hats. Like, the girls was looking good, right? I mean, it was like they were looking good. Now, there were messages that night, though, at like almost midnight saying, okay, I just got to my Uber. Then somebody sending
Mm-mm.
pictures at like 1 in the morning. So I was like, oh, this was a thing,
Because you
you
know
know?
what happened? They didn't get back at 10 o'clock.
No.
They didn't get back until 11 to 11:30.
11, exactly.
I want to go home. That would have been me. Take me
And
home.
I don't want to pay for an Uber an hour away. Like, and yeah, I was like, I can't do it. I cannot do it. And then though, it looked like so then the, that was that night, I guess. So the next day, now more pictures are coming in. And then somebody was like, yeah, we're going to have to do it again because we didn't even get to put our boots on the ground. We didn't get
What?
to do our
Not you
dance.
did all this and put your good denim on, denim on, denim on, and didn't even get your fan out and put the boots
couldn't,
on the ground.
couldn't even
Oh no.
We still don't know what a fan's at, girl.
No,
So
girl.
then they were like, yeah, we'll have to go to somewhere where the horses weren't, I forget what they said about the horses, but essentially they weren't very easy. So it didn't sound like it was an easy ride
I was
on
just
top
sitting
of
here
being
saying
four
something happened
hours
on the
long.
horse ride, the horseback
Correct.
riding part of it. That's where the time got lost.
Mm-hmm.
The
Because
horses wasn't having it.
somebody at some point, I realized when I read that and I scrolled up, was like, did you go left or right at the thing? And it was like, oh, we went to the right. And then they had like a picture, like they dropped the pin or something, of showing the way that they went. And they were like, the horse wouldn't turn around. And I was like, excuse me? So I don't know
Let me
what
tell you
happened.
something. I've been horse riding one time, and I went for my birthday.
uh-huh.
And first of all, I didn't know horses was that tall.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah. Oh,
that's the
yeah.
first
Some
thing.
are like 6 feet and taller.
Hey, I got to climb up a ladder to get up on this horse, and if I fall, this is a fall, right?
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
already hanging on for my life. Okay. And then you talk about not listening. I remember there was a point we got in, like it was more of an open like pasture
Mm.
type of
You could
thing as
gallop.
opposed to like
Yeah.
all the damn rocks and shit. This is not relaxing for me. Okay, I feel like I'm finna fall and I'm tense. Okay, we get into this open field, girl, and the horse start taking off. So I'm like, okay, and I was like, hey, how you slow this down? Whoa, hey,
Somebody
go
listen.
home. I want to go home.
She's like, do I tell the horse what to do? Do I tell somebody what to do? But
Somebody better come
gotta
over
do
here and help
something.
me. Cause I don't this I told y'all this is my first time. I needed the training wheels. I don't know why y'all gave me this horse.
You
I
gave me
needed
the
okay.
advanced horse. Well, because the horses are on the trail all day, every day. So they know it. So they
They
get
know
to
it.
parts and they're like, oh, this is when I can
This where
run.
I
This is
get to
when
run
I
a
can
little
open
bit.
it up,
I wasn't prepared. This is why I be asking so many questions. Okay? Because I need to understand from start to finish what is happening, how
Yes.
many times, and long. So, what does that look like and sound like? And what might I anticipate here? Because I got to have the information because I'm not even finna tell you I'm about to sign up for this if I don't understand what I'm really signing up for. That's why I be asking questions. It's a
Yeah.
no for me. So, you didn't go.
Child. I did not go. I did not go. I kept my boots on the ground. I did do
Child.
that. But so they did. He was like the organizer. He was like, okay. He's like, well, I'm sorry. He's like, well, we're gonna do a spa day in May if you're
You better
still
ask
here.
questions. Because
Well,
let me tell
so
you something. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, what's the warning? And then I'll say,
Because, baby, I basically stopped like going to spas and things here because of my like sensitivities and stuff. But you got to ask questions. So for instance, one time I had a massage and freezing. When I tell you I was so cold and they did not have nothing to warm nothing.
oh my
Excuse
God.
me. How am I in here damn near bucket naked and it's cold? Like, how is this relaxing? Another
Right.
time I went to a spa situation and it was like where they took me was in the basement, which is fine, but also it smelled like a basement.
No.
I'm
What
going
part of that
home.
was fine?
Ask questions
Does your
just so
is
you
any
know.
part of this experience in the smelly basement, please? I now will put that question in my pocket. It was not one that I possessed before. I didn't know. I would not have asked that even if I did ask the question.
They might tell you the spa is 3.5 hours away.
Right.
Okay. And
Right.
then you gonna be at a spa, but there's no facilities, for instance.
Right.
There's no bathroom. Like, ask questions. That's all
She's
I'm
like,
saying.
that's the question. Thank you. So they did send me the link to the place, so I was able to check that out. And at least in that situation, I feel like I'm able to isolate if I want. Like on a horse, like you in the pack, like you got to stay in the group, And it's like you said, to your point, like it's people I haven't really necessarily met yet. I think I recognize some of the names, but I haven't really hung out with them, so it wasn't necessarily like, oh, I'm gonna have a buddy and I know who I'm gonna be talking to or whatever. So couldn't do that on a horseback ride. But at a spa, I'm like, I could go sit under an umbrella somewhere, lay down next to the pool, and get on my chocolate goddess, regime and call it a day and be fine. So I'm like, okay, that part I can deal with. And even if that can only go so long because it's a spa, like that's not going past 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So I think there was just the difference of the logistics. So I feel like I may actually do the spa day. But actually, now that I say that, depending if I go home, I may not even be here for that. So I don't know. Lord knows. So anyway, that was that. Um, I am working on the remix of my journal. Yay! So that part is in my head of just the normal work stuff, but now putting myself on a clock of saying, okay, I want to remix the journal. Because there were just some things that I realized, like, oh, maybe I want to add in like some burnouts, some like checkpoint things, and just some more reflective stuff. And then after I'd done that welcome book for the Airbnb client, it helps me see like the difference because I still have to show you too those buttons, like the different buttons just for ease of navigation that I wanted to change anyway. So I want to freshen that up and get that out. So that's been in my brain. And then just trying to figure out. So I don't know if you saw that they had like this big old earthquake in San Diego,
No.
and it was like I want to say a 5.2 or something. So
I
pretty
don't know where the
significant
Richter
with
where
the
the
scale.
Richter goes.
Like where I know that like catastrophic ones have been sevens and eights,
Oh my.
but yeah, like I want to say the ones we have here are like threes, twos
Okay.
and threes,
Okay.
like somewhere in there. And
Okay.
but I want to say we did have like a four, so you feel it. Like it's definitely one that you feel, but there may not be like major structural
Structural
damage
damage.
kind of thing.
Okay.
But this one was like a 5.2 if I'm not mistaken. Feel free to check the internet, y'all. This is one of the things I'm not an expert on. Um, but they were showing a video in the San Diego Zoo of these
The
elephants
elephants?
in the alert circle, and
Yeah.
that's what it was. And I was just like, how interesting, just looking at the animals, and how they interact in the world and how they protect each other and just like what that looks like. And even once the danger subsided, like they still stayed close, like just to be like, okay, you good, everybody, how we feeling, like protect the young, like let's do this. And it wasn't anything, there was no communication obviously, but like just seeing it happen and then wondering what does that alert circle look like for me? And like last time, I know we talked about like different, circles changing sizes, and this may have actually been in Discover Your Destiny. I don't remember which one, but um,
It's
something.
on my list though.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So, like, what does that look like? And I was even having a conversation with Bianca of like, having those large friend groups where there's like multiple people connected through a bunch of different ways. Um, and then having that get smaller and tighter, and then having more just kind of like acquaintances of like, yeah, there are people that are cool that I hang out with, but like, we're not necessarily calling each other on the weekend to check in and see how they're doing, kind of thing. To then it being like 5 people, and that's including my mom, so it's like having that change happen. And Bianca was like, well, like, do you miss it? And I was like, well, I mean, I miss the people, and I miss being close to them in the times, but I can obviously still look back at the memories. And like, especially with like the Cali kids, like a lot of that change was distance, proximity, and them growing up because I was older than them. So they're now like getting married, having their babies, and then they're moving over out the country and around the world too. So like there's joy in that and seeing that growth in them, and I know if I need something or they know that they need something, like we're here for each other, but it's not that day-to-day checking kind of thing. And then obviously New Orleans had its own special challenge after my incident in January. That was like a big piece of my life that was just gone. um and there are people still there that I love dearly, but again, it's like just the communication piece isn't always consistent, but it's the love is there, and the knowing that the person is there and the support is still there for you, but not actually having like that specific alert circle of like, okay, if I go dark, who's gonna know? You know what I mean? And especially in this environment of us being out of the states, quote unquote solo travelers, for more or less, like, who's gonna know? And it's like I am inconsistent at best with my content creation, so it's not like y'all would be like, I didn't get an update. What kind of nails did you get done this week? Let me make sure she's all right. So just things like that. So thinking through that, as I'm out of the states longer and getting further and further away from some of those relationships, like how do you foster that where you are? How do you still honor who you are? Because maybe you're not feeling turn upish, but I definitely have that in my spirit sometimes. It's just getting the pants on to get out the house to actually do it. It's a disconnect. Uh, but seeing those elephants really made me think about that and just saying, okay, how are we defining that circle, and do the people even know that they're in the circle, that you've put them in the circle? Like they may not have even consented to being in the circle. So I know we've talked about it a couple times in different versions of like village audits and really identifying who's there for you, but that is important, and important to let people know, like, hey, I do want to be in your circle. Like, if something's going down, please tell me. Like, I want to be a part of your life. Like, I want to be an active part of your life, kind of thing. So that was just interesting. So going through those thoughts, fighting.
Can I just pause it for
Yeah,
a second on the
please.
alert circle, because I appreciate that type of analogy. Because one of the ways that I've said it is I feel like I'm not a part of people's real life.
Mm,
So in all of our actual real life, there are people that we communicate with frequently,
right.
right? And I was finding myself being in circles of people where it was the I talked to you on your birthday and that's it. But in my
Mm,
mind, I thought that we was because I had you
just
in
my
my real
people.
life. So I'm
Right.
like wondering and checking and seeing. And I'm definitely a person where I don't mind receiving updates on social media.
Mm,
Um as long as I have an avenue to be able to communicate, if especially because I've been gone for a
right.
while, right? So I realize that many of my relationships are virtual, and that
Mm.
doesn't mean social media. I talk to people actually on the phone, not a lot. Please don't call me without letting me know. But I communicate with people, like I message with people, like all of that, right? So it's not that I am only updating things on social media, but one of the reasons why I update things on social media is because I'm not a part of people's real life.
Yeah.
And I found that out when I was living in Pennsylvania.
Mm.
And that was the whole thing that alerted me to the fact of, okay, girl, you not all right. And also, if something happens to you, it's gonna be at least 2.5 weeks before
Yeah.
anybody's even looking for you, because nobody was communicating with me on a daily basis
Hmm.
to actually, because I wasn't a part of their real life. You
Yeah.
know, but I like this idea of an alert circle, and I also like the idea of letting people know
Yeah.
that they're a part of your alert circle,
Yeah.
because I think it is fair to give someone an opportunity to say, I can't be that for you
Mm.
right now,
True.
as opposed to you having them, like, like, well,
The ex.
that's my dad, so of course he's in my
Right.
alert
Of course
circle,
he's in my. Of course he's in
But
my
one
alert.
thing I'm gonna say is, if I was depending on my daddy to call me back with some immediate, it ain't happening, not today, not as much as that man works.
Right.
So that's not really like
Right.
somebody that would be in my alert circle. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because we don't talk to each other for copious amounts of time.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of thinking through that and thinking about it as an alert circle. I did see that image of the elephants doing that, and I didn't understand the context, but I
Ah.
definitely understood that they were like, "Hey, something's going on, and we need to look out." And just even everybody having their
Their
backs
backs.
to each
Hmm.
other,
So they could
so we
all
all
look out.
have each other's back, and we can all look like, I in my mind I envision that is what community is supposed to look like. It
Hmm.
is so extremely difficult to create that,
Yeah.
because it does require commitment, and it requires um full ownership. Like, it wasn't
Yeah.
like one elephant was like, "Hey everybody, we need to get in the alert circle. This is what we do
This is
when
what we
there's
do.
danger." So
There's
we
something.
assemble, right?
Everybody.
And that's what I need, assemble. I need the people.
Yes, it did. What?
That's a long story. It's not joke.
I was like, did you just do this? Okay. All right. So,
I get that from Here's the Thing, because there were some youngsters out here. They made a song, and a part of their song they was like, "Assemble."
oh, is it
So
is it these guys?
yeah, them. I don't know who they are or what their
It's
names
like,
are.
don't. I'm not about to put my
I don't
auntie
know.
badge on display, but I
But
know who they're from New
yeah.
Orleans.
Oh,
Yeah,
they are.
they are.
Oh, I didn't
Yes.
know that. See, I don't
Yeah.
even know who the young folks are. I don't know
Mm.
how many of them. I don't know nothing. All
What
I
is the
know
song?
is
It's like
that
my
now on Here's
blicky.
That's it, on
Yeah.
the
On the
dresser. Okay.
dresser. Yeah.
Assemble. So anyway,
Got it.
yeah, I feel like community looks like people assembling. Like, you know
Yeah.
what your role is, you know who your people are, you know what you're supposed to do, and you hear, you sense, and you assemble. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be this great orchestration, but also I know that that's not innate in us.
Right.
Specifically, as people from the US, we are
Yeah.
not taught
To
to,
lean on anybody
not to just
else.
lean, but to be there for
Or
other
that.
people.
Yeah. So I'm like, you're not expected to do it, to be vulnerable enough to ask for it or expect it, and then you're definitely not shown how to do it. And you see it in variations, but it's very much, this is your pod. But even that isn't necessarily super tight. Like when you look at certain, and actually, you know what, I'm gonna put an asterisk on this, because I can only speak from the perspective
From
of
your lived
our
experience.
family.
For
and,
sure, for sure.
and go, I don't know, maybe everybody else's family did get together all the time and talk all the time, and like, because I have seen it modeled in other things, but that was just not my experience coming up. It was nothing to not see you for like months.
Yeah,
I
for
mean, not,
sure.
but I don't know, because your mom like did stuff though. Like your mom was like active. She's like, oh, this is happening. This is, whatever. But like, it wasn't anything to have those big expanses of time, but to still feel connected and know that that didn't mean, oh, that's not my cousin. Like, it just, oh, we don't see each other every day. We're not having Sunday dinner every time.
But also, though,
But also,
I
yes,
feel like there was a mutual like willingness
intention.
to be able to show up in a certain way after all of that time had passed, right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you and I have always just kind of picked up where we left off, right?
Yeah.
And but there are other people in our family where there was just so much time, like, is the hey, how you doing?
Who are
Oh,
you
well, what you do now?
now?
Oh, you got kids. Okay. Well, how they doing? How old are they? Like, what's the
Right.
baby name again? Like, you know what I mean? So, and it
You're
shouldn't
like,
have been that way, but it also has to be like this mutual willingness to be able to say, I realize time has passed and life is happening, but also I'm not going to hold that against you.
right.
Let's catch up
Yeah.
because I still love you. I still care about you. Let me put that forward.
Right.
So I'm just saying for anybody's family and anybody's
Yeah.
situation, it has to be mutual that again, back to letting people know that they're in the circle. Like one of the things I had on my list was sending out, communication to different circles that I've been a part of and actively just being like, "Hey, I'm not going to be over here no more." Okay? I could tell, yeah. Energy's funny. I don't know if I could name it, but it's a lot. So also, if anybody that is here wants to actually be a part of my life, holla at me over here. Okay,
Right.
but
Because I'm
I'm
not going
not
to be
going to
here.
be here no more
Yeah.
because I've tried, I've done, I've called, I've begged, I've pleaded, I've said, I'm done. Okay, so God bless y'all. I wish y'all the best. And also, I'm going to be over here. And if you're willing to be over here with me,
Come
I'm
on
more
through.
than willing to have you. So I think there's a lot of, back to your like original question of, or your original curiosity with the circle shrinking.
Hmm.
To me, it feels more secure because if I'm communicating to you, hey, you're one of the people in my alert circle, you're like received, and also you're in mine or whatever,
Right.
right? We've communicated that. Now I feel more comfortable to be able to share what is actually going on. Because you know what my question always be when people, you know how last week you was like, what do you say when people
Yeah. What they
call you
say, you
smart?
smart or pretty. Yeah.
What do you say when people ask you how you are doing?
Child.
Because why are you actually asking
Are
me,
you
or you just trying to be polite, or like are you
right?
wanting me to tell you the truth, or like I'm confused. What's
Yeah.
with this question? I don't
And it's
understand.
a hard one, especially to coming coming from New Orleans, where that's also just a greeting. Like, hey, like how you doing? Like that's not. I'm not asking you how you doing. I'm just saying hey. But
Hmm.
if it's like, oh hey, how are you? Or like what's been going on or whatever, like that's different than how you doing. And so like having to figure out like, are you, to your point, are you actually interested in that answer? But when people are like, oh hey, how you doing? And then they just like walk on, it's like, oh, never mind. All right,
And I've always been team.
I
You could
guess
just
not.
say, hey.
Yeah,
You
like
can
it don't
don't
have to
ask
be
me
the
how
how
I'm
you doing
doing
because I
if
want.
you don't care,
I'm,
or if you're
I'm
not gonna hold space for it. I do not ask people how they are doing if I do not have space to hold for it. And it's not just in New Orleans, it's here in Colombia. It's
oh yeah,
like the way that you're supposed to greet people is hola, buenas tardes, ¿cómo estás? Right. But then and da, 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 da,
right,
da, you know?
right.
So I am also very, very confused as to how I'm supposed to answer that. And then I see Tusha said, whenever anyone asks me how I'm doing, I lie. I don't want to
Mm,
lie. I like,
interesting.
so I would just rather not
Not
do
have the
this.
conversation. Like,
We
why are
don't.
we?
So what happens is when people ask me how I'm doing, I've probably done this with you too, Shay. Hey, when you ask me that, what are you actually asking? Are you asking
Yes,
me
we
how I'm
do.
actually doing, or are you just doing this because this is what you do? I be needing to know because I'm not about to waste time sitting
on
here telling you how I'm actually doing, nor am I about to try to gather a lie.
figure it out. Well,
I'm
I'm
just
definitely not
not
lying
going.
about. I
I'm
mean, the
just
lie
not
of
going to
I'm
answer.
okay. I guess if I don't know if that's what they mean.
Yeah,
Is, can
I'm
we get some
sure.
clarity? Is the oh, okay? I'm like, is the
Yeah,
clarity
I'm
of
sure.
that a
Well,
lie? And
that's
I'm
what I would
okay,
imagine that it would be
or
like.
or
I'm
that they're
better.
like elaborate. They're creating some elaborate. I'm planning a bank heist kind of situation.
Now
I
that
mean,
actually might be
that
something
could
that
be
I would
fun.
do.
That could be interesting. Um,
Now
so
I
I
might
find
create a whole story now and a whole movie. Now I
you
might be
never
liable to do
know
that, especially if I think that you are asking me
to be messy
under.
or nosy.
There you go. So let me give you a story because I'm gonna know
Like here you
exactly
go,
where this came
where it
from.
came from. Nah. Hmm.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. Because definitely, like now, I will always, because I know I did it. I definitely did it one time to Bianca because she's like, "How you doing?" I was like, "In what regard?" Because that's a hard thing, or even in therapy, like how are you? And it's like, well, in some things I'm great, everything's fine, and in some areas it's a shit show, and in some areas it's no complaints, not it's neutral, kind of thing. Overall, yes, I'm fine, but there are different levels of what's going on depending on what you're asking me about. So can you provide some clarity into what you're asking? Because that could be a lot,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know that we
fair.
really leave room for that when we ask people that. Because again, to the thing of the steps of it's not just take a shower. There's 150 steps to go take a shower. So what exactly are we asking about in that stuff? So,
Yeah. And this, I feel like I've heard somewhere where somebody said clarity is kindness.
mm,
Um, I like to be clear, so please tell me
clarity is
what
good.
you is asking and what why why. That's another way I'd be like why,
Yes,
especially
indeed.
especially. There you go. Because some people ask how you are just to gossip about you to other people or like different things happening, but like why?
Yeah.
Why are you asking me that? What's you? What are we doing here? I just need to
Very.
know. Like,
Yeah.
just
It's very.
tell me
Yeah.
what we're doing.
It is very
So yeah.
important.
So I kind of talked a little bit about all of my stuff already,
Yeah.
and I've talked about it in different places, but I do want to highlight. So I did a live yesterday
Yes.
about the state of education in the US and all the stuff that's happening with the ending radical indoctrination in K-12 schooling, executive order, and like all this kind of stuff. And if you did not see that, please go back to the page here, Minding My Black Ass Business, and go check that out because we read through the document. I had to sign a paper saying that I understood what was in the document,
Mhm.
and I definitely understand what's in the document. And also, it's wild as fuck. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah. Also, I am on this asylum journey. It is very interesting. It has been very exhausting. It has been very emotionally exhausting. Um, and there are a whole lot more steps to
Yeah.
it. So I am definitely walking through this for myself, but also for people who might be exploring that option because the block is hot down up there
Ciao.
in the divided states of the America.
Ciao.
It's wow. It is wow, wow. So anyway,
We up
um,
to 245% tariffs on China.
child,
Okay, go ahead.
if y'all are looking to get out, please do go to findingpeaceabroad.com, schedule time with me. Um I can't really talk about the asylum thing too much, but that is what's happening. So if
Yeah.
you have questions, you'll have to reach out privately to have those conversations. But wild. The other thing is,
Wow.
I had a dream talk. The one of these, maybe it was the last one. I don't know. The days are running together. One day,
This whole month
and
has no days. No days, no dates. It's just
yeah,
a blur.
just another day.
Yeah.
So, and do I have something to do today? Or not. So
Right.
anyway, I did a dream talk, and dream talk is basically where I talk about. I get this from Kev on stage,
Mm-hmm.
but basically it's when you talk about the things that you have going on so that people can understand what you're working on and if they are choosing to support the ways that they're able to do that with the projects that you have going on and all of that. Wow.
I can't
Bianca
see.
said they just had an active shooter on the FSU campus. Breaking
No.
news.
Jesus.
Hey, findapieceabroad.com, and I'm not even trying to be funny.
Yeah.
If you are trying to get out, please, please, if you've had any thoughts in your mind of like, I don't know if you don't want to do it. You don't need to see nothing else. You've seen enough. And why you got to see it while you're there? You don't. So if you have ability, please, please, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you are
Um,
already planning on it, stay abreast because information is changing every day.
every
So
day.
just making sure that, the place that you were going to, the requirements are the same. And
Correct.
it's not necessarily just because US is being US, but there are just changes that are happening pretty quickly. So stay abreast of
Well,
it.
the world is shifting right now. World
Yeah.
powers are shifting, and that's something that's important for us to understand. Is that this is what we are seeing is happening. I don't know how many times I got to say this because I feel like I've been saying it for a long ass time. But anyway, what is happening is happening. The United States, the divided states, is currently trying to buy countries, trying to strong arm people, 245% tariffs. Like, it, that's happening. It's happening.
Yeah.
And the rules and the concept of law and order and democracy, it's
Uh,
not real.
no.
It's not real.
No.
So please stop trying to wait and see. Please start making some decisions to get yourself to safety. And even if that means that you are staying there, you need to be find a community. We're talking about this alert circle, who is in your alert circle, because you got to be able to insulate yourself. You got to be self-sustainable. We got to learn how to grow our own food. So anyway, can we jump into the rabbit hole, because
Yeah.
that's what the rabbit hole was about for me.
She said,
And what you're saying?
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Because it started out with Bad Bunny.
Mm.
Now, I don't know, what do you know much
I
about
mean,
Bad Bunny?
just music, not him specifically as a person. No.
Okay. But even his music, like you would
Yeah,
be able
like
to,
he's an
some of
artist.
his songs,
I would have
or
to hear it.
he's a
I
musician.
know he's a musician and he
Okay.
makes music, and that I've heard music that he possibly created, but I couldn't tell you. Oh, that song by him. No, no.
Gotcha. Okay. That's why I was asking, because I was definitely like that. Like, I know there are a couple songs, like he has a song called Titi Me Pregunto,
Mhm.
and I like it. I don't know what he be talking about though. He be talking about having a whole bunch of girlfriends, but um I don't really be knowing what he be talking about.
She
So
said,
I just be listening to the music, right?
vibing.
But Bad Bunny gets a lot of hate because reggaeton.
Mhm.
And I reggaeton is a particular like beat or whatever, right? And there are particular artists that sing reggaeton. And one, for instance, is Carol G, who is from
Mhm.
Medellin here, right? So people usually will have like very strong reactions to reggaeton. So either they really like it or they
Mhm.
really, really despise it, right?
Yes, it
So
did.
a lot of times I'll be talking to gentlemen in particular, which is very interesting, because as much as they be despising reggaeton, they don't also be treating women with respect. So it's weird.
Mm.
But anyway, so Bad Bunny, let me see, how did this even start off? So it started off, I watch YouTube a lot. And when I'm
Yeah.
watching YouTube, I very much am watching it with different purposes. Either I'm watching vlogs or I'm watching like documentaries or comedies, but I watch like very specific things on YouTube. But I watched a lot. And one of the things that I really like on YouTube is Tiny Desk.
Mhm.
So I had opened up my my computer one day and it was a new Tiny Desk and it said that it was Bad Bunny. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. I don't keep up with him like that to know if he has albums and all that kind of
Right.
stuff. So I was just like, oh, he must have a new album out. Okay. Well, let's see what vibe he on because I like that Titi Me Pregunto song, you know? So I'm like, let me see what he talk about down
What
there
else
at the
we got?
Tiny Desk, you know?
Tiny Desk is always a good time. Like even if you don't follow the artist, just listen because you will find at least one something that you're like, that's really good. But anyway,
Correct.
sorry.
So I was very much like, okay, well, let me see what's going on. So he has this song that I started listening to. Hold on, let me see. I'm trying to find the place here on the Okay, so one of the things I love about Tiny Desk too is that the artist gives I like the intimate type of settings because the
Hmm.
artists give like the background and information about the different songs.
Yeah.
So he's doing that like during the thing or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So he has this song called Close Friends that comes
Okay.
on. So let me see if we can hear it. Hold on. Oh wait, I can't hear it. Hold on. How to music? What oh Lord Jesus. Fuck. Oh, okay. Can you hear music? Can you hear it?
Mhm.
Okay. So I just want you to hear how it starts off. We're also
Como
listening
diablos
to
por
it.
olvidarte si yo te vi sin ropa, oscuro de arte. Prometí que iba a alejarme, pero como quieres que me vaya bien. Si tú no me sacas de los claustros, me paso toqueándote pa' ver qué haces. Un chula puede que se me pase, pero como quieres que me vaya bien. Si tú no me sacas de los claustros, me paso toqueándote pa' ver qué haces. Un chula puede que se me pase.
All right, so we're gonna pause right there. So I'm listening to this song, right? And
Uh-huh.
this is like the second or third song within the thing in the set. So I heard it, I started paying attention to it because I really like the vibe, you know, because I've
Right, right,
been
right.
going down to the Zouk dance and stuff, you
Yes,
know. So I was
yes.
like,
Shake
hey,
your hips.
okay,
All
boom,
right.
chick, chick, boom, chick, right? So, but then I said, what is he talking about? The man sounds sad. Like, what is
Right.
happening? So I turn around and I look at the screen and I see him like talking about how am I supposed to get over you, girl? If I'd have been with you, girl, what is I'm supposed to do? And I'm
And
just
I'm
out
still in
here
your close
stalking your
friends. I
page
can still see you.
because there's a lot that's going on, right? So so I started like laughing to myself because there are many people that are in my archives
Yes,
that are trying to do this, right? And it's like not necessarily that you've seen me naked, but you felt my energy.
right,
And
right, right.
now I had asked you to like be my friend, to be a part of my circle. And you was
Right,
like, no, only if I could F you. And then I was
right.
like, no, thank you. I'm not looking for that. And now you're kicking yourself in the ass. So I
Right.
thought that was really crazy, right? So
Right.
anyway, so I started listening to that song. And I was like, okay, Bad Bunny, I see you. I hear you. Like this a little jam right here. Also, this is funny. I'm about to post this and you know, and do a little a little Colombian thirst trap situation, you
Yes,
know?
indeed.
So anyway, so I'm thinking that and I'm like, man, now like that's so crazy. So then he starts playing the next song. And the
Uh-huh.
next song he talks about that he had a dream. He was like, I had a dream about this song and I in the middle of the night and I tried to go back to sleep. I couldn't go back to sleep and then I woke up and then I wrote the whole song and this is the song. Okay. So I want you to hear a piece of this song because this is what the actual rabbit hole is.
Gotcha.
Amor, en los ojos una sonrisa.
Okay.
Un sueño que yo tuve y se ve bonita, se le va a llamar en los ojos una sonrisa, aguantándose llorar. De tus orillas parecieran de champán, son alcohol para las heridas, para la tristeza bailar. Son alcohol para las heridas porque hay mucho que sanar.
So I'm gonna pause it there
Mhm.
so we don't get like demonetized.
Yeah.
But what he's talking about is Puerto Rico.
Mm.
And he mentions Puerto Rico, and he basically in the song he's saying, Puerto Rico, I want you to hold on to your culture, hold on to your language, hold on to your customs so that they don't do to you what they did to Hawaii.
Mm.
So in the same time, the algorithm be doing what the algorithm does.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So then I ran across this reporter. She's an independent journalist, and she had been doing some reporting about Puerto Rico and Hawaii and
Mhm.
how the US came in and changed their entire diet
Mm.
so that they could take over their land. So basically what happened, we use Hawaii as an
Right.
example. So Hawaii was an independent nation. They had a king.
Right.
The US goes to Hawaii, they overthrow the entire king government, everything else. They take over the farmland that the Hawaiian people were using to sustain themselves, to grow their native fruits and vegetables and things. And they turn their farmland into one crop land. So,
Mm.
and so now Dole has
Right.
pineapples, and that's all they're growing on the land. And what that does to the land is it destroys the land
Right.
because you're supposed to do crop rotation, different times, things are in seasons, like all of that. The soil gets nutrients from that. So the US did that to Hawaii. So then instead of them being able to sustain themselves because they were naturally farmers,
Right.
they now import processed food from the US to give to them
Yeah.
instead of their native fruits and vegetables and all of that, right? So then I was like, oh my. Then the same thing happened in Puerto Rico, where they took all the farmland and now they have completely changed the diet of these people. And I don't know if y'all know this, but the American diet is trash. Okay?
Awful.
Trash.
Awful.
Okay. So we don't even have like one of the things we talked about this before, like in the US, there aren't even like fruit trees where that
Right.
actually bear
That
fruit
can
because on
propagate. Right.
purpose they
They're
planted
all.
it so that fruit would not grow, right?
Yeah.
So the way that you're able to get access to food in the US is just so controlled, which is why eggs is $72 because nobody owns chickens to actually have the sustainability portion. But anyway, so that sent me down this rabbit hole about the US and the impact on Puerto Rico, the impact on Hawaii, the
Mhm.
impact probably on Panama. So, Chef Ratatouille is in Panama, and I'm watching firsthand how the US is destabilizing the country, and it's blowing my mind.
Yeah.
Like the way that people are trapped in the systems and native people. So there are many people who are moving to Panama and moving to different countries, for instance, as expats. I am a person who has immigrated to Colombia, right? But the issue, and we've heard this with gentrification and everything, is that the
Mhm.
issue is that the native people are the ones who wind up homeless because they are being
Right.
priced out. There are no protections
Correct.
that are put in place for them. So they are just trying to figure it out while your whole country is being everybody else, they having a good life. They having a
Yeah.
best life.
Yeah.
They on yacht parties, they doing all the things. And here you are working for pennies because of how the system is set up. So it's really just been wild, and it just has made me be so frustrated on a completely different level with how the US operates and the things that they do and the ways that they show up. And when I tell you I am all about the revolution right about
Mhm.
now, from all of the people, from all of the nations, from all of the places, to be able to be like, no,
Yeah.
we're not doing this. And now is the time because the world
Yeah.
powers are shifting, so new
Correct.
alliances are being made, and countries are like, okay, that's fine, well, let's cut out the US then, since they want to
Right.
be all doing all that,
Like,
that's
okay,
fine, no problem,
be all you. Enjoy
do
that
it.
wall that fences you in. That's not keeping anybody out. It's
And
just
that's
locking
what's
y'all in
about to
there.
happen, is that people are about to be stuck there. And I keep comparing it to WandaVision. Have you ever seen WandaVision before?
I still haven't seen it. You've mentioned it before and how this.
Yeah. So for anybody who's seen WandaVision or have not, basically what's happening is Wanda is one of the superheroes, one of the Avengers. I don't know if she's an Avenger. I don't know who belongs to what. She's one of the superheroes. So anyway, don't come for me. If you are a Marvel expert, I am not one. I've seen these movies and I don't be retaining stuff real well. So relax. Okay. Do not just tell us nicely in the comments. Okay.
Thank you. Share what you know. We all grow together.
Okay. But anyway.
Space.
Wanda is one of the superheroes and Vision is her husband, another one. So they're living together, but basically what happens is they go away to this place and they're projecting that one thing is happening on the outside versus what's happening on the inside. Let's just say it like that without me spoiling it for anybody who might want to watch it. And that's what happens in the US. Because even when I was talking about the asylum situation, it's so frustrating to try to explain to people what it's like to live inside the country when all they're getting is the information that the country is putting out. So it's like, that's not real. Like, that's not what's actually happening, What you saying?
No, I said right.
Yeah, so it's been interesting. So anyway, I've been down that rabbit hole, and Bad Bunny took me down there, and he's got one more song that I want to share. And this song, I don't know the real name of the song, but I called the song Yo soy de P fucking R. Okay. Because so P is and R, PR are the initials for Puerto Rico, right? So hold on. Let me see if I can find it. So in this song, it's very much like a salsa type vibe to it. It's really cute. But girl, when I tell you I be in here, hold on. Where's that? Okay, I think it starts here. Okay. I need you to hear it cue up because I be in here.
I'm ready.
You ever been to a silent party with the headphones?
Yes, where they do the headphones.
Oh, I love them so much.
It's so fun.
Girl,
so fun.
I be having a silent party of silent parties up in here. Girl, I be in here cutting the rug and you don't be having no idea. I just be in here just
mi papi porque en verdad rompieron.
And just side note, one of the reasons I love Tiny Desk is because they can have stuff pared down.
Yes.
Ay, el mejor de la nueva porque me crían la vieja. Gracias a mami y papi por todos los honores. Nunca me han visto en la calle ni en los podcasts ando vea. Tratan de medir fuerza y no pueden ni en pareja. Calle el sol, calle luna, estoy en la noche oscura. Yo no canto reggae, pero sí cultura de Borinton, PR, archipiélago perfecto. En el mundo entero ya conocen mi dialecto, mi jerga. A mí me importa un bicho lo que a ti te vale verga. Aquí mataron gente por sacar la bandera. Por eso es que ahora yo la llevo donde quiera. ¿Qué pasó, cabrón?
So I don't know if y'all caught what he said, but basically he was like they was killing people for raising a flag.
Raising their flag.
And that's why I take it everywhere I go, right? So I'm all about that. But also, let me see if I can find a part where
Aprieta, chamaquita.
Girl, I be in here getting it. Okay. Girl, I be in here jamming. You hear me? But anyway, I am just like so here for the revolution. Like I am just like, yes,
it is happening.
Stand up, say the things, girl. I'm in here talking about I'm from PR. I ain't never even been to Puerto Rico, but also yes, do that shit.
What they say.
So
No,
yeah,
that's
that's been my
real.
rabbit hole,
So
and it's
that's been
taken me
my
in a
rabbit.
lot of different directions.
Well, I love that for you. That is always good. Yes, the revolution is happening. I mean, whether people see it or not. I think I even put it. Where was it? Maybe not. Maybe I was just joking about that. But we talked a little bit about the tariffs. We'll say tourism tariffs and stuff earlier, and how I've been on this rabbit hole of TikTok off and on. So it's been some interesting things happening there, in just like different versions. Like you have the very serious, there are tariffs of 1,000,000% going back and forth. We're in a trade war. China has even said, look, we're not even bothering raising tariffs against America anymore because this is stupid. But this is the highest it can go to make it even make sense for us to say that we still trade with y'all. But he's a boy, so he wants to make the numbers big. Let him do whatever he does, right? So then you have that. Then that led into the, like, okay, peeling back of the luxury market of, you want to know where your shit really comes from? You remember your $30,000 Birkin? Well, enjoy
Cause
it,
why
because
y'all paying $30,000 for a goddamn bag in the first place? Why? How much money do you have to waste that you are investing thousands and thousands of dollars in a bag?
one bag, and you have to be invited to purchase it. Like you can't just walk into Hermes and be like, "I would like a Kelly, please." Like that's the whole process. You have to buy something else Hermes first, be on like their mailing list, whatever, blah blah blah. Then making your appointment to go see, and then they'll see what they have that they can offer you to buy, not necessarily what you want to buy. It's a whole process. Like, and depending
What?
on like which stores you shop, oh yeah, it's girl, it's what to say. I
Yes,
have no
indeed.
money. I have a very weird understanding of the things that happen there. I don't know why, and I don't know from where, but it's there. But anyway, so seeing that happen was very interesting. And so now when you're on TikTok, it's literally just lives of all of these luxury bags, and they're like, okay honey, all right my darling, here's the WhatsApp, here's the website, you want this, what was it, what bag was it, dang it, it was one of the Chanel bags, and I cannot think of the name of it, but it's like a soft-sided
I'm like, child, I
lambskin.
wouldn't know the difference if you
And
called it a Sabrina girl. Okay.
it's one of the Chanel bags, right? And so it's normally like $8,000. The bag is like $179 that you can buy right now. Now, again, I don't know the authentic, the fake, whatever. I mean, there's always been the duplicate market that's been around for a very long time. But this is kind of, it started with the working with Walmart. So then that happened. Then TikTok had the other Hermes little bucket bag that came out. So it slowly was happening.
So what
But
about
now,
Walmart? What you saying?
so Walmart put out this bag that looked very much like a Birkin, like looked like a Birkin. And it was maybe $70 or something like that. And there was this whole conversation about luxury brands versus something being accessible and what it does to the market of the luxury brand. Because the whole thing was nobody else is walking around carrying it. I had to be invited in order to buy it. Now Sally Joe Sue, who
The
works part time at
exclusivity.
Wendy's,
Mm-hmm.
can get her working and be like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going out. Um, but they've done this now across the board, and not just luxury goods, but I mean it is all the luxury brands, which is interesting. Um, but also like your shoes, your Tide Pods. They're like, oh, you want Tide Pods? You can get 18 of them for $2, where that'd be like $20 at home. So it's like all of
And
these things that were,
so, okay, I got questions because I've seen this in and out. I don't really be on
yeah,
TikTok for real,
yeah,
but I've seen this in and out, and it's kind of bled over to Instagram a little bit. So the shipping. So they're
yeah.
still willing to ship it, and
They
even with the increased shipping cost, it's still cheaper than it is to be buying it in the store.
China said, hold my tariffs. You will get free shipping.
Not
Like
free,
we will ship it for free. Now you still have to pay like the transport, but you won't pay them. But
yeah,
you can pay like a delivery service where they'll deliver it to them, and you pay whatever it takes to get
girl.
from China. They are doing visas in China. I forget what the time frame is, but they have approved a visa where you can go just to shop. China said, "Fuck your tariffs. You think
Wow.
we need you for this? Like we've been here for 5,000 years.
That's
You
why
are
they
a
don't want y'all
baby.
to have TikTok because they don't want y'all to have access to none
It
of this.
ain't
See
never
none of
coming
this.
back.
Know that none of this
It
is
is
going
about to be
on.
blocked for
But did
real
they
because
block it, or did they extend
well
it? Because
they extended it another 75 days
this
or
is so
another 90
stupid.
days. Silliness, whatever. Um, but it's just very interesting to see this because for the longest time you're thinking, oh, I'm buying these things that are made in France or made in Italy, and like it's so exclusive, and it's like, but why is it diminished? Why is the value of it diminished to now say, oh, well, it was actually made in China? Be like, but what's the difference? I mean, the
Every
workmanship,
damn
the
thing else that we've
craftsmanship,
been wearing and
the
buying been in China. So
the leather is coming from Africa anyway. Like it's like what so anyway, but like all of these things, but again, we're seeing the news if we're watching the news from the States from our perspective. And that's what we're being told. And that's how we're making our purchases and making our decisions. And so now that it's like, our administration is trying to have this big FU where we're the powerhouse, other places are saying, okay, well, let me tell you what's really going on. And so that's just one piece, and slowly but surely these layers are being peeled back. So it's like, okay, what the hell else is happening out here, So there's that part of TikTok. I've just been on a lot of TikTok, a lot of TikTok rabbit holes. Have you been on Spoontism Talk?
I'm sorry, what?
Spoontism Talk.
No.
So they say it's like,
I'm
or
assuming
spoon
it's about the spoon theory and people who have autism.
in that like there's a perfect spoon. No, that no,
Oh,
no,
like
no, no, not
finding a perfect spoon.
like
Well,
finding the
I
right.
have my own silverware set. Well, I don't even
Correct.
want to call it silverware because it's not
No, it's
silver.
gold.
I have my
It's
own rose
fancy,
goldware set.
fancy,
So I get the
right?
favorite spoon situation for sure.
No, girl. There's a side of TikTok that is devoted to rating, ranking, talking about spoons based on just the pictures. So someone will like post the picture of a spoon. They'll show it to you from different angles, show it balanced on your finger so you can see like the proportions and if it's balanced, how heavy, how wide it is. But when I tell you, like, okay, guys out here, if y'all ever thought you might have been on the spectrum, and it is a spectrum, Spoon Talk will tell you very quickly when you see a picture of a spoon and get angry, when you are like physically like, I am upset. Why would you call that a spoon? Like that's got to be a spoon rest. Like that can't be real. You can't put that in your mouth. Or like you see the picture and you can like taste the metal. It's like that's not gonna feel good. Like
What?
you have visceral reaction. And by you I mean me. Visceral
And also me,
reaction,
as you sitting here describing it, I'm my face all
girl.
twisted up.
Some of the and I am, if anybody knows me, I definitely am a consumer of social media. Like I usually don't necessarily interact very much. When I tell you I comment on TikTok on these videos, I am like, absolutely the fuck not. But ew. That made me gag. Or, ooh, that was kind of sexy. I like that spoon. Like,
Okay, you're
or like that
invested.
one, girl. I'm like, ooh, that one was close, but the longer I looked at it, the handle seemed kind of long. Like, it's you
I
might
don't
not
know
need
what
to.
my spoon requirements are, and now you have me curious. Because at first I was about to ask, is there like a forktism talk too?
There might be. Well, I also came across a cutting board talk. I didn't go down that one too far. I wasn't really invested
I
in
don't
that,
think
but
I
I
want to go
could.
over there.
But
I
I could
struggle with
see
cutting
how that.
boards.
I hate these cutting boards here because they're wood, and then that lip
Oh,
doesn't
we
let me
don't
get
need
the
to keep
knife
talking
down.
about it. It's
Okay,
gonna
but
gross me out,
anyway,
and I won't
and
ever
then
cook again.
not I won't ever cook again. I will just use a plate sometimes instead of the cutting board, and then try to not think about the fact that I might break this plate. But anyway, so there's apparently a cutting board talk if that's your spicy neural brand that you got going over there. But for me, it's apparently spoons. So you may not need an official diagnosis. Just look up spoon talk, and if you have any kind of like, visceral reactions to these people calling these things spoons, you might get your answer. Um, so that was a fun one for me. So I definitely highly recommend doing that. there's also on TikTok group chat. Have you seen this?
No, I
It's
don't
this.
be over there on the
I mean,
TikTok for
I
real.
understand, but when you be there, I don't know what pop up.
Mm-mm.
So,
No, I ain't seen
um,
none of this.
okay, so group chat was this one girl, and I love these series where it's like one creator and they play all the characters, right? So it's this one younger relatively to me, younger white chick, and it's like a group chat of like 5 or 6 people. But in the shoot or in the shot, you really just see her holding the phone, and it's like, okay, we're supposed to go to dinner to meet at this time, whatever. So people are chiming in, okay, I'm getting ready, blah blah blah. And then one girl goes, "Hey guys, like, I've been so looking forward to meeting everybody for dinner. I just really wanted to let y'all know, what is her boyfriend's name? Justin. Justin had a really hard week at work, and I couldn't leave him alone, so I wanted to invite him to dinner. He's gonna be there, right? Right." So like everybody immediately is like, "Oh hell no, not to the girl dinner. Like that's not how that goes. Like there's 1,000 other times we can hang out with you and Justin, or you and Justin can go take care of Justin, whatever. They don't involve us in that, right?" So in the group chat, they go to the side group chat that doesn't have that girl in it. And
I
so they
can't
could be
stand
like,
these goddamn side group chats. They get on my nerves. I swear it.
so they're like, is she serious? Like, why is she bringing Justin? Like, somebody has to say something. Like, somebody call her or whatever. So I guess like the mean girl in the group is like, well, oh, I understand that Justin is having a rough time. We're so sorry to hear that. I just really think it's too late for us to change the reservation. Maybe next time we can put something together for him. She's like, oh, don't worry. I actually already called the restaurant and changed the reservation.
See, that's why you gotta be honest. See, because you tried to lie, and people be having a lie for the lie. And what she should have said was, he should not be coming to the girls' group chat. And I'm sorry if you feel some type of way about that, but this is our sacred time and space. Now, if you need to go be with Justin, y'all go be
Go
together,
be with
and we'll
Justin.
catch you next month. God bless you. We
Right.
send glove, peace, and hair grease. Okay.
Yeah, light. Love, peace, and light, right? So they go through this whole thing and they're like, finally, I forget how they get her, how they say, no, we're not doing that. So then she leaves the group chat. So they were like, oh, it says Haley left the group chat. And they're like, oh my God, Haley left. Can you believe it? Blah, 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 whatever. So then roundabout, everybody's talking to Haley. But this again is just this one girl. And so they go through all these different things. And you could see it. Like I got sucked in at like the first episode, but it was like immediate. Like everybody, Kev on stage was like, "What's happening with the group chat?" Like that's why I was like, "Oh, you might have seen group chat," because he was actually in it, like waiting, like, "Where's the next episode?" Because this was happening when we were trying to figure out if they were going to extend TikTok again, and she hadn't done the final episode, and so like you had like Charlie Puth, you have all the blue checked company
Girl, I don't even
TikToks
know
in
these
her.
people.
I know, but all the like company TikTok representatives in the
Trying to get the
chat, like,
next installment.
what's the next episode? Like, we're ready. We need to know what's going on. Like, it blew up, but it was just, I love that. That's what I really enjoy about seeing on TikTok is the growth of like these content creators, and people. There was one lady. This is just a random TikTok overall rabbit hole just of tech of what TikTok does. Like they had this one creator, Jen something, she's always on there. But she was like, "Oh my God, I saw this chef and he makes the most amazing looking food. It looks amazing. His voice is soothing, like the great content." And she's like, "I was wondering why I'd never seen him before. And when I looked at his page, it said he only had like 350 followers and I couldn't believe it." And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. She's like, I need y'all to go to his page, look at it. If it resonates with you, support it, whatever. Overnight, 60,000 followers. And then he's up to like over 300,000 followers. And he's like, I don't even know what happened, what to do with this. Thank you for doing that. And that happens over and over again, and kind of back to the whole, alert circle of having these people that you know or don't know that are saying your name in rooms that can benefit you, and in the reach of that is exponential, and just being able to take advantage of those things. And when you're doing your village audits of who should have access to you and who's giving you energy and all of those things, also identifying what are the opportunities for each other here, like what can we do, because again, shit is crazy. And so it's going to take everybody working together to figure out, okay, it may not be sustainable for you to have your life dependent upon this particular job. What is your skill and how can you mobilize that for you so that you don't have to worry about if that company exists or if that company is able to operate because there's a 300% tariff on the products that you sell. So like just betting on yourself and what does that look like? So it's interesting because it's just TikTok, but there's so many little micro pieces of it that are just amazing, and you see this growth. Like, this is the last thing, I swear I'm gonna let y'all go. American Idol. Haven't watched American Idol in a gajillion hundred years, whatever. But you know, I was definitely an American Idol person when it was on. There's two guys on right now that I am absolutely in love with, and one of them I found on TikTok a couple of years ago. He used to sing in his car, and he would like gospelize any song. He like did a gospel version of "Stay" by Tyrese that was like beautiful, right? And he's the cutest little guy, chocolatey thing, bright white teeth, just like packaged for TV kind of thing, right? But his voice and his soul and his like the way he carries himself, like it just feels so good. And then there's this other guy that his name is Jamal. What is Jamal's last name?
Is either of these person the one who had gotten a platinum ticket or whatever in American Idol?
Now,
Again,
see,
I've never
that
watched.
part I don't know because I'm
Okay,
not
because
watching the actual episodes.
oh,
It's just like
you're
see the
just seeing them on the
performances.
thing.
Him, I knew before he went on American Idol because he did like Sunday's Best before that after singing in his car. Um, but I would not be surprised. I would not. Either him or the other guy, Kanan James. He is amazing. He's like this 17-year-old guy.
That's who it is. 17 year
Oh,
old
okay.
black guy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's who I
Amazing.
saw.
Phenomenal. Like just the spirit, the anointing, just the presence in this young man is amazing. And you can feel it through the screen. And then you hear them telling him things like, you don't always have to do gospel. And here's the thing, I'm not a big gospel music fan, funny enough. Like I love gospel music when I'm in church. First, I think it's just like the whole show of it all feels good, but I'm normally not like, oh, let me put on a gospel record. Wow, how old am I? Um,
You know what's so funny? When you finish, I'm gonna ask you another question that's gonna tell how old we are. But I
oh
be
my
saying record all the
god.
time, and that is not. I
But
don't know
I
what they
feel like
call it these
CD
days.
feels worse. Like
Well, it's
CD
definitely
feels
not
worse
a
than
CD.
record. Well, no, I know, but I'm saying like saying CD, even though that's more recent than a record. Like, Jesus.
I feel like
Anyway,
record can transcend time because
well,
the
that's what we gonna
record
go with because that felt very
record,
old
right?
timey
So
to me.
it might be virtual part of it, but we're still recording
Song.
this. So that's a record. But
I
yes,
guess,
it,
child. Well, anyway, I normally am not like, oh, let me reach for a gospel song kind of person. But like just the connection that he has, and for them to be like, you don't always have to sing gospel. And for him as a 17-year-old to be like, no, this is what I'm doing. Like, this is a platform for me. This is a platform for God. This is a platform for what I am out here and supposed to be doing. This is what I'm gonna do with it. And shutting it down on top of it, amazing. Chef's kiss, phenomenal. If I was watching and would vote, I would vote for one of those two. They are amazing. Like, I can't even sing their praises enough. But I don't know. It was great times.
so
TikTok is taking care
I was
of.
gonna ask you. So I was watching Gin and Juice the other day,
Hmm.
and Gin and Juice is also in the Come On Stage universe with Melissa and Mel. And Melissa was telling Jamal Roberts, is that the name
Uh-huh.
of the
I
young
think
man?
so. I
So
think
Melissa
so.
was telling the story, and she was talking about she was in the UPS store. And she was
Uh-huh.
like, and the workers, like they're young people, So this young man and so Melissa is, so what if I'm 44? I think Melissa is 40 or maybe about to be
Okay.
41. But Mel is maybe 35,
Oh,
36,
okay.
right? So Melissa was like, yeah, so the young people such and such, and Mel was like, stop. calling them young people.
Young people.
But Liz was like,
What do I call
what
them?
else but they are. They're young people. What do you be calling? Oh, because then wait, I'm gonna tell you this because then I know this what is gonna bring up for you. So Liz was talking about, she was like, I go to the UPS store all the time. They're young people, they're in their 20s, they're like the same age as my sons, whatever. So she said they had gone on a trip one time and had won some money at the casino.
Nice.
So she said, so I had like $20 or $40 on me. So, when I went, I just gave it to them. It was like, y'all doing a good job.
Kim just passing out change to little kids. Not little kids.
That was a young man.
Buy yourself something nice. You're doing such good work. I left something for your pocket. What?
You got to help these young people when they're making good choices. You got to encourage them now. You're in here, Mick. Now, here you go, baby. Thank you for bagging my groceries. I appreciate it. Here's 2 mil pesos. I sure enough appreciate you. Have a good one.
That is exactly what happened. Here you go, baby. Put this in your pocket. Yes, indeed. That's more telling than record. If you have ever passed someone and just slipped them some money.
It's not for no reason. They're out there making good choices with their life.
Making good choices.
So you're just giving them a little tip. Thank you for your service. Go get yourself a Snicker.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, indeed. I don't know what I call them. I just go, they're younger than me. But sometimes I'm just like, I feel like depending on what the context is, it could be like, the kids, because I call my Cali kids, but they're nowhere near kids, never were. They weren't kids when I met them. So it was like, I don't know, but I don't know that I would say young people either.
Because I be saying kids are babies. I really do.
I think
especially from being a teacher, I feel like we have taken away the innocence of so many children. And it's important for us to understand that they are still children.
There's children.
Even if they are 17, they are still children.
They're kids. That's a kid.
And their frontal lobe is not developed. They are not adults. I don't care how tall they are, how thick they are, I don't know how deep their voice is. I don't care. They're still children. Yeah. So I often refer to children as babies because I need y'all. Maybe you'll treat them with care if you think of them like that's somebody's baby. That's a baby right there, right? So I say that, but also I'm not saying it to be insulting, right? So I'm like, okay, so how else can I address young people without calling them babies or children, especially like if they're in their 20s, they're not children they're not babies, but that's a young person.
But you're still young.
They just getting into this world. They only been here a little while.
Know. Your brain's still soft. Like, you don't know. That cake is not baked. Like, it's still soft in the middle.
It's still a process.
It's okay. That's great. Shit, enjoy that. But like, I don't know what to call you. I don't know. Because I definitely do say kids. But I don't know what I would call them.
Y'all tell us what y'all be calling people that are younger than you. Because for me, it's
your girlfriend.
What you say?
My girlfriend.
Well,
but she's older than
I was about to say she's in her 30s. So that's different. But like a 20-something, that's a young person.
Kid. Like a kid.
But they're not a kid.
But I think, you know what it is? It's because I don't see myself as an adult.
Well, so that's definitely a part of it.
Probably what it is so I think for me, after me are kids. There's
no middle ground. You're like, I'm a young person. I'm young people.
I'm the young people.
So y'all is kids.
That's what it is. I'm the young people. They're the kids. And then it's our parents, young people, kids.
I see where you're going here. Bianca said the term is cougar. And I
almost flipped her off right now.
I wanted to make you feel a little bit better.
Finger up.
I just want to make you feel a little bit better. And not that it's gonna make you feel better, but I was gonna also say apparently I am one too. So I don't.
So this is my problem with the term cougar, right?
Okay.
Because I feel like, so I don't know officially, so we might have to go check the actual semantics on this. To me, being labeled a cougar means that you are, older, but that you still are, you know what's happening. You're not completely out of touch with the current trends, right? But that you also seek out people that are younger than you
It's the
to
seeking.
date. And
It's
it's
the
the
seeking.
seeking part that I have a problem with because I'm like, that's just not true.
That's not what
Because
happened.
correct. Because
Yeah,
normally
I
it's
agree.
like, no,
I
no. So
agree.
I think that's why cougar sticks with me because I'm like, no, but that's not true though. Because I'm not at the playground like going, hey baby, I
Seeking
got some
out.
candy in my pocket. Like that's not how that happened. Don't do that.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I definitely agree with that. There is no seeking that has been happening. So then we need to either get clarity on the term, or maybe we just make a new term. Like,
you
or
know,
I don't even know if it's a
I don't
term, but
know.
it's just like a I think it really this is what I want to end on.
Okay.
I think
I like that thought process. Whatever happened in your brain just then, I enjoyed.
I think this is what I want to end on. I think that it is an incredible compliment because
Yes.
what I know is that when people look at me standing next to somebody, they do not think that I am the older person in the equation.
Very true. Very
So
true.
I think it is a testament to having got to say, okay, this is the last thing I'm gonna say for real. I was listening to a comedian the other day and she was saying she had gone somewhere and she told somebody how old she was, and they say, Black don't crack, huh? And she said, I did not know I was black don't crack years old. Like, and I started thinking about it because I said, people be saying that to me all the time. What I'm
But I,
black don't
I
crack
I feel
either.
like black don't crack is all the that's a forever age. I think. I think that's just a state of being. Like black just don't crack.
But
It don't
not in your
matter.
20s. You don't get black don't crack in your 20s. You not getting black don't crack until at least 40, because the black don't crack is like, girl, you look good for your age. That's what's behind black don't crack.
Now, why you have to say it like that for your
Because
age?
that's what it means. Girl,
I just
44
think it was
where,
like,
sis? Black don't crack.
yeah, I mean, I get that, but I guess I always knew there would be a time because I mean, I look at like our people our parents' ages or even a little bit older than them in their 70s, and I'm like, they don't look. That's not 70 now is not what 70 looked like 15 years ago.
Correct.
So it's like
But did you
everybody.
think of yourself as black don't crack age?
I don't think I would have batted an eye if somebody was like black don't crack. Because I mean, I've always, even when I was 23, I was told I looked younger than
Mm.
23. So it was, it
Bianca
was
trying to get
never.
cussed out. I
What
just
you doing
wanna.
in here?
She talking about in the comments.
Not
Talking about
proud
what about
letter.
proud letter,
Proud. Can
girl?
we need a moderator so we can block the people in the comments?
Please.
Cougarette. I refuse. The disrespect is just at an all-time high. This
We not doing this with y'all. No
is
more.
wild.
We finna go. You want to tell the people about the plan for the mobile art? I
It's
have
still
my
in works. Did you start yours?
no, girl. I've been trying to
Oh,
get my
okay.
life together.
Well, I didn't know if that was part of getting the life together. That's why I made
Child,
sure
you
I cut the canvas. I wanted to make
uh-uh.
sure I was not a barrier to your piece.
Not at all. But I was gonna get my frame thing over there while you explain to the people
Okay.
what it is. Or
Yes.
have
Yeah.
you been working on something?
Girl, I cut the paper for you.
Okay.
End of story. It rolled it
Okay, go
back up, put it in the closet.
tell them the things. I'm finna grab mine.
So mobile art. Because we live out of a suitcase, we like art though. We Kim has art that she hasn't been able to take with her. I have art that is with my mom that I love and miss dearly. And we like to be surrounded by beautiful things. And we are creative people, and that's some of our outlets and ways that we do that. However, comma, with art, it's not very portable when all you have is 3 suitcases and a backpack. So I was like, how can I make art and then have it come with me and be able to put it in a backpack? So I had to try to figure out, what do I tell Amazon I need, because where else I'm gonna go? Well, apparently now China, but before then it was Amazon. Um, to get something that was like a breakdown type frame, and then I could just get the raw canvas, and then we could paint and take it wherever we go. So this is the frame that I ordered, and it's like a 2 piece thing. That's the top, so you would hang it, and it has a magnet that just sandwiches the canvas in between it, and then you would take the bottom piece, open the magnet, sandwich that, and then that's your frame. And you can hang that, take it wherever you go. You can switch your art out if your mood changes. Amazing. Thank you, Vanna Brown. You did a phenomenal job. That is a canvas roll, an unstretched canvas roll that you can buy on Amazon. And that way you can cut to whatever size makes your heart happy, create your art, hang it up, take it down, switch it out, move it with you, and you'll never without the things that make you happy.
Well, shit. That was a beautiful commercial. Sorry. I knocked the mic over. It's time to go.
And on that note, 3 easy payments of $19.99.
It's time to go. All right, y'all. So yeah, tell the people where they can find you.
So I'm on Instagram at Kalonda Bear, KAWANABEAR. I'm also on there as Visionary Executive Network for all your executive assistant needs. Let me do the stuff that does not bring you joy so you can work in your purpose. You can find me on YouTube under Minding My Black Ass Business under Content Kalonda. You can also find me on TikTok as Content Kalonda. And if you want to support any of my shenanigans and new China purchases, you can hit me up on Cash App at $Kalonda, KALONDA.
Yes, indeed. She's been working on that, y'all. Get that job to the science, okay?
I did that just now. It
Y'all
felt like I've been
find
thinking
me.
about
You did a good job. Okay, bitch, you doing a good job. You doing a good job. Yeah.
it.
So anyway, you can find me on Instagram at KimberlandJ. You can find me as well at Minding My Black Ass Business, as well as at KimberlandJackson.com. There you can find my blog. You can find information about Discover Your Destiny. You can find information about finding peace abroad. You can find that information there. Also, if you are a Black woman who has been experiencing burnout, or looking to leave the US, or dealing with figuring out neurodivergence and what that looks like for you, I invite you to join us in our healing circles. So if you go to tinyurl.com/black women healing circle, you will be able to register. We have circles every other Saturday. We have one coming up this Saturday, and it's really just a space for us to hold space for each other and to be there for each other. Also, y'all know I'm writing a cookbook, Con Sazon y Amor, a journey of love, healing, and flavor. So we did have our first public test kitchen, did the salmon teriyaki. Amazing. It was amazing.
How were
So
you
I'm
at
often,
listening?
what you say?
How were you at listening?
I did a much better job at listening. I did a much better job. Actually, I got compliments. I need to actually go in there and clip those for evidence sake,
There you
because
go.
I got compliments. I was told that I was a stellar student and I was doing a phenomenal job at listening.
We would expect nothing less. Good job.
So if y'all want to come cook with me and cook with Chef Ratatouille, the menu is going to change every time that we have one. But if you go to tinyurl.com/con sazon y amor, you can register for the test kitchens. And that is when we're actually testing out the recipes, thinking about how efficient it is, how easy it is, how many ingredients. Because listen, I'm not signing up for no whole production. That's what I want you to know. I ain't doing it. And I'm not cooking every day either. That's what's not gonna happen, okay?
That's
So
what
if
you
you
said.
anything
That's what
like me, and you like, girl, we got to make this practical but also delicious, tinyurl.com/con sazon y amor. Lastly, come hang out with us on Patreon, y'all. I am gonna be sending out some specific invitations for people, we are working on a lot of things and we're really looking for investors. And when we say investors, that could be a few different ways. Your investment of time, being here, hanging out with us, that's an investment. Liking the video, sharing the video, subscribing to the page, that's an investment of time and energy, as well as watching. That's an
Mhm.
investment of time. But if you are also wanting to make a monetary investment, we invite you to join us on Patreon at Minding My Black Ass Business. So patreon.com/, Minding My Black Ass Business. And you can make a pledge for as little as $5 a month. And that helps us to be able to increase our production quality, to pay for things like streaming or earphones or what have you, like different things that are going to help us to bring more stuff to you. So again, for $5 a month, I know it's not a lot because it's not a lot, but also it might be a lot. So if it is a lot, there are other ways to support that
Yeah.
are free. But if it's not a lot, we ask you to consider that and be a part of our inner circle. That way, you'll be able to get right now up to date information. I'm going to be very transparent and say KimberlandJackson is going to have to go underground because there's a lot of stuff that in my role of an activist and an advocate, there's a lot of stuff that I have to manage.
Mhm.
But that is a place where I will be. So I will be on Patreon, and that's where you'll be able to get like right now in the moment information. So we do invite you to be a part of our Patreon community. Any other announcements before we roll out of here that you want to make?
There is a new podcast coming soon. There'll be some information coming out, but it is called Bear Versations. It's super cute. Two bears on the road, all the good stuff. But as more information comes out, you'll hear about it. I realized that I did not say that earlier.
Very good, and I'm sure that those previews and things will be coming out on Patreon. So this is
Yay!
again the place for you all to get that right now information. The question was, what is the recipe on the 27th? I am signed up. That's a great question. I
I
don't know the
love that.
answer to that right now. Um, but a couple of the recipes that I've been playing with, I did a garlic tilapia the other day with, what was it, garlic tilapia, I think, in quinoa.
Mm-hmm.
And then also we are working on a dessert class. So a dessert I was working on the other day is a plantain Nutella and a nut quesadilla type
Oh yeah,
situation.
yes, that's a good.
So I'm working on some things and we're working on some things. So that's what we'll be bringing to the test kitchen. What I can tell you is that you will have a good 7 to 10 day notice to be able to get your supplies ready and all that kind of stuff. A reminder that the test kitchen is donation at this time. So we ask a minimum donation of $7, and that's to compensate Chef Ratatouille for his time and expertise. But yeah, you had a question. Yes.
I have a question. Can you ask Chef Ratatouille to think about a bananas Foster cross with a plantain Nutella situation? That could be like a fun Medellin, New Orleans fusion. That could be something really yummy. In my
Okay.
head, it feels like it could be good, but he's
Okay.
the
I feel
professional.
like this might be able because actually the other day I was talking about, I don't really eat dairy anymore,
Mm-hmm.
but I was talking about making a banana ice cream. There's a banana
Mm.
ice cream that I like.
Oh
So you
yeah, yeah,
freeze
yeah.
bananas and then you can just make the vegan ice cream. So let me pass that up down the pipe, up the line, and see. So
Yeah.
also, if you all have suggestions of different things, feel free. And I've had a few people that wanted to submit recipes. So if you want to
Mm-hmm.
submit a recipe, you can also do that. All we ask is that if you are wanting to submit a recipe, that you also be willing to submit some type of explanation about why that recipe is meaningful. So, for instance, when you were like a New Orleans, Medellin, like type of situation, so I might be like, hey, go
That
and
would be
write
it.
something up for that because in the book we are including narratives and letters and things about why those recipes are meaningful and how they made it into the cookbook and how they matter to us. So, all right, I think that's it. You have anything
That's it.
else?
That's all. That's it. That's all. That's all I
That's
got.
it. That's all. All right, y'all. So we'll be back on May
The 4th. May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th.
I am that nerd. I am. Look at you. Wait, there it is. Can y'all do that?
But I'm going to also leave and I'm going to say that I have never seen Star Wars. So we can talk
I've
that.
seen it, but I couldn't tell you what happened.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I didn't know if you was going to be real disappointing because I was like,
I used to love Star Trek, but I didn't really get into
the same thing. But it's okay. All right. So we'll be back next time. Y'all have an amazing y'all have an amazing evening, day. All right. Catch you later.